Good morning. I wanted to make an early morning video because I've made some major progress towards being able to lucid dream. Now, lucid dreaming is something I've always been really interested in. The idea of being able to control your own dreams and do whatever you like in a dream and fly or ride a unicorn or any of those things that you hear about. For example, if you've watched Vanilla Sky or Inception, both of those are about lucid dreaming, the idea you can take control of your own dreams and do anything you like in the world. Now, I'd always heard that there was people who were able to lucid dream. And initially there was a lot of skepticism in the medical world about whether lucid dreaming was possible. But since they had MRI brain scanners, they've actually been able to prove that lucid dreaming is real and there's certain people who can do it. The way they did that was they asked the patient when they were awake to squeeze their right hand, and they did a scan of their brain at the same time and watched the image to see what parts of the brain lit up. They then asked the patient to go to sleep in a sleep lab at the same time as doing an MRI scan of their brain. At the point the patient thought that they were lucid dreaming, so had control of their dreams, they then did the same action that they'd practiced before, the squeezing of the right hand, and they were able to see on the MRI brain scanner that the exact same parts of the brain lit up while the person was doing that action in their dream, proving that while they were asleep, they actually had control of their own body, or at least had control of their body and their minds. So we know that there are people who do it. Now, what I didn't realize before I got into sleep was that anyone in theory can train themselves to be a lucid dreamer. And for me, that was a huge goal. That would be amazing to be able to fly and do all these things that you see in the movies. So I've been on this journey trying to teach myself how to lucid dream. And there's lots of different techniques, and I can go through some of those in very brief detail here. But the very first step that people talk about is doing what's called your safety checks. Now, when you first hear about them, partly the name safety checks makes you think that lucid dreaming, you have to do something towards safety. And in theory you do, because if you got confused between your dream and being asleep, and you thought you were dreaming while you were actually awake and you tried to fly by jumping off a building, that would be very dangerous. But if you were in fact lucid dreaming, then you could jump off the building and fly. So there's safety checks that you do so that when you're in a dream, you can say, I'm actually dreaming. And when you're awake, you do the same thing, and you know that you're awake and you don't do anything dangerous. My understanding is that it's not all about safety, but it's about creating a kind of brain memory or muscle memory, as they sometimes call it, so that when you're asleep, you then can repeat those same actions and it comes quite naturally. So the safety checks might be very commonly counting the fingers on each of your hands. And when you do that right now, they look like hands and they look normal. But when you do that in your dream, they might look different. So you might have more or less fingers, or they might seem blurry to you, or you might look different. So that's one of them. Another common one would be holding your nose and trying to breathe in. In a dream, you might be able to do that, but obviously if you're awake, you can't. So those are some of the things. And the first step to trying to teach yourself to lucid dream is you do that lots of times during the day. And so you get the muscle memory and the brain memory of doing those things, so that when you're asleep, it comes more naturally. The next step after that is to write down your dreams. And every time you wake from a dream, try and write it down. And we dream a significant portion of the night, a lot more than actually we remember. And it tends to be that only when we're woken from a dream do we remember our dreams. But sometimes if you get up to go to the loo in the night or whatever, or you just turn over in bed, you might realize that you were dreaming. And if you were dreaming, the idea then is to write down your dreams, so you then start to engage with your dreaming a little bit more. Now, I love sleep, and the last thing I want to do is wake up in the middle of the night. So I actually skipped that stage. I did my safety checks to some degree. I probably didn't do them quite as much. But for me, I've always thought that I probably had a possible propensity for doing lucid dreaming. I'm a slightly weird sleeper, particularly as a child. So I had lots of very visual dreams. I used to sleepwalk. I sleep talked. I had night terrors when I was little, and I had night paralyzation, so where you wake up and when you're dreaming, your whole body is paralyzed except your breathing muscles. But sometimes when you wake up before the paralyzation has kind of disappeared, and that happens more commonly in children, actually. And so that happened to me a couple of times as a child, and all these things are slightly unusual but not that strange things that can happen in your sleep. So I thought that maybe I might find lucid dreaming a little bit easier than some people. Anyway, so I've been trying to do some of these things, a bit of safety checking, thinking about my dreams that I haven't been writing them down. And then the next thing after that is that once you're in your dream, you have to try and do your safety checks. And then the next thing is to try and create, they call it an avatar, a person in your dream who then can explain to you how to lucid dream. So last night was a major breakthrough. I seem to have skipped through a few stages. I was actually woken by my husband leaving to go to the airport very early in the morning. And so I think I was in a lighter sleep before I was woken up, and became aware that I was dreaming. And so I did my safety checks. I looked at my hands, and it was really interesting because they were really blurry. I wasn't able to see all my fingers, and my thumb was on the wrong side. So I was like, ooh, I am dreaming. Safety check done, and I have control of the dream, which is the first step of lucid dreaming, and was amazing. But then after that, I carried on in this kind of dreamlike state, and an avatar, I guess, a lady with amazing, huge eyes, came up and was talking me through how to control my dreams, like she was kind of teaching me how to do it. And then I was able to take the dreams to different places. And it's strange because it's quite dreamy, as it would be, but I felt I could leave my own body. I could see different things, go into the depths of the sea, go into kind of different colors. And then the next step after that is apparently you then use yourself to then teach other people. So you become a sort of character of yourself, how to lucid dream, and all of that sort of solidifies the lucid dreaming. And so amazingly, in this dream also, I was then meeting people who are teaching how to lucid dream. And all this happened. And at that point, my husband then woke me up, and I was really annoyed because I thought, I was lucid dreaming, this was so fantastic, and now I've lost my chance and it may never happen again. But then one of the things they teach you when you're trying to learn how to lucid dream is you can go into a dream that you want by concentrating really hard on it. So I concentrated really, really hard on getting back to the place I was before, and I managed to do it. So I went back into the same dream that I'd been dreaming previously, which for me was hugely, hugely exciting. So that was a bit of a description of my first experience of lucid dreaming, where I felt like I got it. I'm going to keep on trying because it may be a one-off, who knows, but thought I would share my experiences. And if anyone's got any comments on lucid dreaming, if there's any videos you'd like me to make about how to do it, or the journey as I move forward, then let me know in the comments below. Or if you would like to learn more about sleep paralysis or any of those other things that I've talked about. Also would love to hear about anyone else's experiences of lucid dreaming. To be honest, it was really cool. I'm going to do it again. Okay, fantastic. Bye.